Welcome, everyone, to Andromeda 7, your celestial gateway. Yep. Hey, everybody. Sorry, last week we couldn't make it. Life gets in the way sometimes, and it just didn't happen for us. But we're here tonight, and we've got a great show for you, and we're looking forward to sharing all this information. And a lot of this we've been learning on our own as well. So tonight we're talking about that 10-part series, The Human Curriculum. And this is episode 3, Why You Keep Meeting the Same Person in Different Bodies. And you all have experienced this. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. The universe calls this the unconscious repetition. It's a reoccurring form that helps us recognize meaning, behavior, and narrative structure, because it taps into something shared across cultures and time. Okay, let's talk about patterns for a moment. These are the cosmic reruns of your life. Have you met and had relationships that carry the same archetype over and over? You know those relationships that continue the same energy as the one before. We've all experienced that. This applies to any type of relationship, romantic partnerships, familial, platonic partnerships, work partnerships. These all have an archetypal pattern. And that archetype is a universal pattern, a kind of original blueprint that shows up across human stories, psychology, and symbolism. Okay, now here's your situation. You meet a new person. Yes, it's a different face, a different name. However, it's the same dynamics and situations you experienced in the last relationship. These are patterns that repeat until the lesson is integrated. Now, this is identity work, not fate. Your heart recognizes familiar emotional choreography. It dances the same steps until you choose a new rhythm. This is the archetype of the loop, the soul's spiral staircase, and each repetition is a higher octave. So here's the lesson. You're not cursed. You're being invited to evolve. Step out of your comfort zone. Imagine a relationship that feeds and challenges you to grow. And when you grow, you expand, all for the growth of your soul and your primary reason for the human experience. Remember, life teaches you, not punish you. Now, here's a new paradigm, and here's how we're going to shift. When we stop and realize and shift into a new perspective, we can ask ourselves, why does this keep happening? To what version of me keeps choosing this archetypal pattern? And what lessons have I not learned? And how do I change the pattern into a more fulfilling relationship? Allowing yourself to be consciously aware of your feelings, words, and actions. It will help you determine and discern your current situation. So that's the breakdown for tonight, guys. This is what we're talking about. We're going to have some examples tonight, go over a few things, figure out how to shift, what some of you are going through in the chat. Also, we've got a special guest coming in tonight, and this is someone who's in spirit, and you all remember Dalibor. And if you don't know who Dalibor is, he's a brother that helped us start this show back in 2020. And he passed on, was it last year, Teresa? Okay, you're on mute, Teresa.
Yes, it's been a while.
Okay. So Teresa's going to be channeling Dalibor at the end of the show, and he's going to give his insight and his perspective being in spirit. So he misses us all, misses being with us.
Yeah.
Everybody that's watching, but this is a special treat tonight, so I'm really excited about that. So
yeah, he just popped in out of the blue and said, "I want in on this one tonight." Got some fresh perspective for us.
I can't wait to see what or to hear what he has to say. So I'm excited about that. But let's go ahead and take a peek at chat.
Yeah,
everyone, this is a live show. Spiderbite was first in. Good to see you, Spiderbite. Love it that you're here. Thank you so much. Hey, Lucky Stone. Sorry you're not feeling well. We're going to send you some healing. Good healing for you. and get better, and hope you stay nice and toasty and warm. I know you guys are having a lot of weather issues and a lot of cold weather. Brian, I know you're doing the same thing. So I hope you all stay good and warm and toasty. Shirley Forth, good to have you with us as well. Wonderful to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it looks like people are still kind of rolling in.
There's Nick. I
There's
just
Nick.
sent Jasmine and Nick a new another link.
Oh, great. Robert V., good to have you in the house. Thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for your support, your love too. Thanks. Regine Huddleston, how the heck are ya? It's been you're typically here. Thank you. Love that. Let's see. What else we got? What else? Scotty Boy's in the house. How are you, Scotty Boy? Haven't seen you in a good long time. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. I know you're nice and toasty because you're on the West Coast, so you've had some beautiful sunshine. So, and we have here in Nevada as well. So,
we have someone new, Lee. Leah Louise.
Welcome. Oh, well, let's see. What's up with that? Yeah.
Oh.
No, we can't handle that.
Steve Bow.
Sorry about that. We're gonna handle that one right away. We don't put up with that kind of stuff. Yes. All right. Steve Bow, good to see you as well. All right. Well, that looks like everybody's here. Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Jazz might join. She might not. She has a headache at the moment.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all good.
I know how that was last week.
Right.
Yeah. That's why we weren't here last week. So our apologies for that. But you know what? Things like that happen. So, but we're here tonight and that's what's important. So wonderful. Yeah. So all of us know you've worked with somebody, at work, or you've gone from one job to the next, or you've been in a relationship with someone and you've ended it and then only to start a new relationship with someone else. And you're still dealing with the same type of archetypal patterns. And really the key to all of this is recognizing those patterns and understanding them. A lot of us pick up our patterns from our family, from our parents, which is our programming, because that's what we understand when we grow up. Your parent or guardian is the one that is teaching you about life. And so you pick up those types of things. So that's where a lot of that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, I was wondering, have you experienced this type of relationship, and have you noticed the patterns over and over? And if you have you been able to shift those patterns and recognize them?
Yes. And I actually changed that pattern. But then after about 12, 13 years, bam, for some reason, I fell right back into that same pattern.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's a comfort level about that, isn't it? Because it's familiar.
Exactly. Like I was saying last week on Lucky Show, that people that like low vibrational stuff, they're comfortable in that. Not that I'm saying I wasn't comfortable in it. It was just, now I realize it was a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned basically how to recognize that energy before it even starts to manifest now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I know when I meet a new person, it's like, okay, that's not only the tendencies I see, but it's the energy I'm starting to feel. Yeah, better just go on down the road on this one.
Mm-hmm. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then sometimes you'll have, like, I know people who have been in the same relationship for a long time, for many, many years. And sometimes they don't need other relationships to learn from. Everything that they're getting from that particular relationship is really relevant to them. And so they learn and grow as a couple, and they continue to get through each and every like hurdle or challenge that they're dealing with. For me, I've had lots of relationships. I've had 4 really long-term relationships, And each relationship prepared me for the next relationship. And I would recognize those patterns from the previous, but then I would have new dynamics in the new relationship. And that was always very interesting to me, because I'd be like, wow, I've dealt with that before, but now I'm dealing with that and something new in this one. Or you get into a relationship and you notice that person is a total reflection of yourself. And then I would find myself going, is that what I look like? Is that what I sound like? It would just be totally reflected back at me. And I think that's really interesting to remember, that every person in your life is a mirror for you, because you can't see yourself without a mirror, and you need the mirror. And that's what those relationships do for you.
Yeah.
What say you, Nick?
I don't think it's all like a lesson. I think sometimes you're just with someone for a while and you like each other so much that you want to keep hanging out.
And then you outgrow the relationship.
Yeah, or it could evolve into something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How about you, Teresa?
I actually starting to see it through a different paradigm these days. Because I used to see it as a repetitive pattern of being attracted to the same archetype over and over and over through various lifetimes, or even within one lifetime, meeting 5 or 6 people. And I'm like, why? You're just the same. You're just the same. You're just the same. And so rather than think of it as a glass half empty, learn to see it as a glass half full. Obviously, I'm giving myself permission to be attracted to a person. Now, this could be a friend or a coworker, or it could be a significant other. It doesn't have to be romantic that I'm talking about, but I'm attracted to the same type of people. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Why am I rinse repeat? Am I not learning my lessons? I'm just beating myself up over it and unfairly putting upon them my perceptions of a reflection that they might not be trying necessarily to reflect, but I'm responding to it and interpreting it a certain way. So now I look at it more from the glass half full perspective, and that is, well, there's a reason I'm getting something of value from that archetype. I'm attracted to it. I'm learning and growing from it, but I'm not allowing it to evolve into something that it can be upon itself, on its own. I'm holding people and seeing people and holding them to a standard that might not be reflective of who they truly are themselves. So I'm not letting them come through with aspects of themselves that I could really appreciate and grow from, beyond what I did with the other archetypes, beyond what I did with those people. And so now I look at people and go, what is their full potential in this relationship now? This person's not Jeffrey, Thomas, Susie, Michael, they're not the same person. They're different. They're unique. So why would I block myself from experiencing their uniqueness by honing in on those attributes that drove me nuts with the others? Maybe I'm going nuts with them because I'm allowing myself to get into that old pattern and way of thinking and treating them and reacting to every little thing they do that's different.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Set me off.
Yeah.
Assume that this.
How do you recognize that? It's, it's in the recognizing of it. Yeah. Crazy. It's crazy. This whole human experience, just everything you go through on a day-to-day basis. It's a moment by moment, that first show we talked about triggers and how you get triggered and, how to get past that. And, now we're talking about archetypes and relationships. And it's like, it gets to a point where, for me, being a business owner, I met a lot of people. I had thousands of people that worked for me over 35, 40 years. And I met all kinds of different people, and I could pretty much pick you out. I knew what your archetype was. I knew what your situation was. I knew how you were going to respond to something. I knew if you were sensitive. I knew if you were smart, if you were intelligent, if you could handle things, if you couldn't. And it really helped me understand how to deal with others. Do you find that as well, Brian? I mean, you meet lots of different people all the time. You guys being at the All My Relations, you run into new people all the time with your meetings and the things that you talk about, your spiritual lessons and learning.
Well, I also run into all types of people work wise because we
Yeah.
do residential work and commercial work, and
Customers.
commercial work you always have to check in. I
Mhm.
always, whenever we get to a customer's house, I always knock on their door to let them know, hey, we're here. You might hear some banging.
Mhm.
But one thing that I have noticed that when I started becoming enlightened and I started raising my vibration and consciousness, I started not only attracting different people, but my work environment, there was a lot of really negative people there at work.
Yeah.
So I started raising my vibration. It was like all of a sudden they just started leaving one by one by
Mm.
one by one.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
now the workplace, it's a little more happier to be at work than it
Mhm.
used to be. So I think when a lot of us, when we change our vibration, you start attracting a different type of energy.
Yeah, and you made a very good point, because as you begin to raise your vibration and you realize, what's good about every situation, you're not allowing yourself to fall into the negative feedback or the negative energy. When I get around people that are negative now, it's really sometimes very difficult to even want to be in that space, because the vibration is so high and you're kind of operating from a whole different paradigm. And, as soon as I get that negative energy, I just want to cut and run. I want to get out as soon as I can. I just don't want to be subject to it, because then I have to almost protect myself in a way. Some of it I can let it roll off, but sometimes it really affects me and I have to just step back and back away and just leave it and let
Yeah.
that go, because
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm fighting with it, and I don't want to fight it with anything. I just want to be in the flow. I just want to be happy and healthy, mentally, emotionally. I want to be, mature about my attitude with people. And if it's not a positive thing, it's hard for me to be in that space. Do you find that as well, Nick?
Yeah, I've cut out a lot of people in my life, and most of the time people don't figure that out till they're a lot older. But since I started early with energy work, I can sense it. Like, I have the sensory for it. So it's one of the main reasons why I left my last job.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the perks of Uber. I don't gotta be around no people like that.
Don't you love that aspect?
Yeah, I'm just with myself. I don't have to listen to incompetent bosses or employees that are being overly competitive and trying to strong arm you.
Mm-hmm. And some people don't have that opportunity to make that kind of a change to where they don't have to deal with that. Some people are kind of caught between, I got to work this job. I got to make this money. I got to make this happen. And almost like you have to sacrifice yourself just to make that ends meet, to make those bills. And that's the tough part, and that's pure survival. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I work, 50, 60 hours a week to ensure that I wasn't going to starve or that my bills weren't going to be paid. So it's difficult when you're in that kind of a situation, but also you can make the best of that situation. That is, understanding where you're at, what your situation is, making peace with it. And then, like you, Nick, where you made the decision to say, hey, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just not going to do that. But you found a way out, or something that's serving you now, which really benefits you in the long run. And would you say that you've grown from that situation quite a bit?
Yeah. One of the best ways to break the system is to do something unorthodox that it's not predicting. And one of those actions is quitting a job unprepared. So
Yeah. And I've done that myself.
yeah.
Bye. I'm out of here. See ya. Wouldn't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be ya.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
whatever the archons were betting in regards to me, they probably lost all their chips, and I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. And then you're like, oh,
What
am
are
I
we
gonna
gonna
do now? Yep. But you figure it out.
Yeah, so basically what I tell people all the time, it's it's easy to look over when you're going through it, but you always got to remember with this stuff, it's all mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not super focused about it. I granted I could be more focused about it, but I always tell the universe what I want and what I expect and what I'm not going to do.
Yep.
That I would rather die instead of do this. So
Yeah.
like I set the expectations, and usually they'll find a way. Like your guide and source and the ethereal, they'll find a way. That's their job. Make the impractical possible. So.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Have you had customers in your vehicle that you knew the archetype, you knew exactly, like you could pick up the energy when they get in the car and you would know exactly the type of person they are, or just by their body language or the energy that they bring into the car? How do you deal with that?
Yeah. So Uber gave me some like training guidelines to do that. So some people are super talkative. Some people just want to be left alone. So I'll usually just do formal like greeting and whatever. And then I'll try to gauge on whether they want to talk or not. Usually you can, I mean, there's common sense stuff. Like if someone's got their earphones in, they don't want to talk to you. But if someone's all peppy and like talking about whatever they want to talk about, then, it's different. But then there's other subtle gestures, or you can just turn on music or stuff, simple stuff like that. Sometimes it's not super complicated. Sometimes it's just like common sense and critical thinking.
But being a sensitive person and somebody who's an empath, which I consider you to be, you pick up on that energy, right? As they get into that car, you know exactly what's going on and how to kind of deal with them. At least that's how it is for me, because I've met so many different types of people. I pretty much got you figured out in the first couple of minutes, 30 seconds to a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Got you figured out.
Yeah, especially since you do business. And I have an advantage because Jasmine's in management. So, she learns that stuff too. Like, psychology,
and I'm sure
like
she does as well. Yeah, I would absolutely believe
so
that.
She's always like, you notice that? I'm like, what? And she's like, this person did ABC. I was like, okay, what does that mean? And she'll tell me what it means. So I learned from that. And then I started noticing people like how Jim says, he's like, you never see like a Corvette until you start thinking about Corvettes. And now all of a sudden you're seeing them all over the place.
You're noticing it.
Yeah.
And Jasmine's really good at that. She's very good at that. She's and because she is very empathic as well. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't pick up on their thoughts as well. Interesting. How about you, Teresa? You're meeting lots of new people. Are you sizing some people up where you are? Are you getting a feel for the type of people that they are? And are there any that are similar to the people you've met in the past? How does that correlate?
In a roundabout way. Since everybody is a reflection of everybody else, there's always something that comes to mind. Oh, that person reminds me of, or hey, he's just like someone I know who used to, but I'm actually trying to get past doing that. I spent a half an hour talking to a guy today, an older man who lives a couple houses down. We had the most joyful conversation over cars and where he was from and where I'm from and over the trash can, I was still in my pajamas and he's partly. And we were just like yakking away for like what seemed like 45 minutes, but it was more like a half an hour. But and there were elements to his character that reminded me of people I've come across, but I just kept focusing on his uniqueness and the things that I liked about him.
It's the combination, right?
Right. And I'm trying not to focus on pattern. I'm trying not to focus on that because like I said earlier, that, this is a different frequency, a different wave. And we'll be talking about that later on. But from our friend, he's going to pay us a visit. But it is kind of an interesting, it's just getting to know new people in new situations and new places, even if they do. Part of him reminded me of Jim at All My Relations. I love Jim.
Mm-hmm. He's a great.
And he
guy.
had a Jim quality about him. And he had
Uh-huh.
a twinkle in his eye, just like Jim has
Yeah.
at All My Relations. And I really like that archetype. I
Mhm.
really like what Jim does, and I like how he interacts with people and how he relates to people. And so we could always use more Jim in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
it's like take your spices, you know, and you're making your stew, and you add in a little bit more of Jim and a little bit more of Heather, you know,
Yeah,
a
I
little
always
bit
tell
of
people, like,
Charles and a little bit of Sophia, a little bit
I
of
always tell
Brian.
people, I
Huh?
always tell people if they're new at it or if they're skeptical, go see Jim.
Well, remember,
You'll
we're all
break that ice.
we're all
Yeah.
perceiving one another.
Mhm.
So it's our perception of this character that is created for their soul journey, but you're playing in that game or on that game board with that person, and so you can choose to view that person any way you want. And there's a couple of people around here that are real gossipy kind of people, you know, and they're always talking about somebody, and not in a positive way necessarily. So I
Mhm.
just kind of go, that's not the kind of archetype I really want to spend my time with. But I'll be
Mhm.
friendly. I'll send them love. I'll have a cordial hello, how you doing? Or if they drop something, I'll pick it up for them. I mean, I'll still interact with them. I just won't buddy up with them
Or
because
gossip or get
or
involved
get
in that.
involved or get pulled
Yeah.
into their
Yep.
drama.
Mhm.
Yeah. With my experience, 9 times out of 10, the one who's gossiping all the time is usually the one who is the problem.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
right.
And
But
the
now
one you
see,
need to be careful of
yeah,
and watch what you say.
and
Yep.
that's really smart to recognize that. But
Mhm.
do you see how that is also a trap? That
Oh,
way
yeah.
of thinking?
Yep.
That way of
I
thinking
can-
is a trap too, because you can
Yeah.
presuppose upon them and project something that adds to their, treat them differently, and maybe they'll go, oh, I don't have to be that way with everybody, at least not
Mhm.
with
And
her.
sometimes people have to warm up to you a little bit because they're trying to size you up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll elevate the playing game on that one. So there's this one thing I do when I know someone's a gossiper. I will say stuff that I know they'll gossip about to derail everyone that hears it. Yeah. It's
So,
like I
a
like
brilliant
showing,
setup, huh?
I like showing a fake hand. Like, oh look, I'm showing my hand, but it's not my real hand that I'm really using. If that makes sense, I do it all
Yeah,
the
it
time.
does.
So,
Yes, it does.
so you give it that kind of energy. You give it the energy to mess with them.
I'm giving people what they want, but nothing that'll hold me
Uh-huh.
back.
Uh-huh.
So they're bored. Usually when people are gossiping, it's because they're bored. So
Yeah. Spiderbite made a good comment. I've been doing some barter work for a friend. I find out yesterday he's been backstabbing me and lying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So,
Uh-huh.
Brian, what would you do in a situation like that? And what could you say to that situation for Spiderbite, just to give an alternative perspective?
Well, not really sure how to respond to that because, you know, do you want to stop doing the barter trade work with this person? There's definitely a trust factor there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be hard to trust that person, especially if they're backstabbing you and lying to you. There's a reason why they came into your life.
Mm-hmm. And what is it showing you? What is it reflecting back to you? Anything? Something to note, just something to pay attention to. What do you think, Teresa?
Having been there many times, like Spiderbite, I have been through that several times. And I just had to get to the point where I understood a different truth about it. And it's not about me. And it's not even about the action that this person did against me by going behind my back. This is about that person's immaturity.
True.
It's their spiritual immaturity. They're stuck in a cycle of poor self-worth. If they had any kind of self-worth or self-respect for themselves, they wouldn't treat another human being that way, much less one that's doing something for them and going
Mhm.
out of their way to help them. This is a person that bites the hand that feeds it. They don't know how to show love, appreciation, gratitude, or respect because they obviously don't feel it themselves. And so I would walk away too and I have ended relationships with people, not necessarily nastily, although there have been a couple.
Mhm.
And that wasn't my brightest moments. but been there, done that, learned that lesson. There's other ways to handle it, you know. So yeah, you just have to set the boundaries and protect your own energy, protect who you are, but at the same time recognize that what good does it do to hate them? What good does it do to every time you see them go, oh bastard, you know, or to talk about them? Take it to a field of people and say, you know what that SOB did to me? You know, let it go. And
Mhm.
that's what I've learned, I guess, I think most intensely this past year with Laurie is how to let go of those situations, people, events, and activities. But I've also learned it from my guides over the past few years
Mhm.
that it's not worth putting your energy into to even think about it for 1 minute. You
Mhm.
go, okay, I showed you love. I did something for you. And how do you repay me? Hey, it's not that I'm looking for a handout. It's not that I'm saying I gave you a gift and I expect you to give me one back. I just appreciate some gratitude and some respect. And if you're not going to give me that, then
Well,
I can't put myself in that space, but I still love you
mhm.
for who you are or could
Mhm.
be your potential. It's a shame you have this problem. You could
Yeah.
maybe try to help the person, but that gets you into, I tried that a couple times too, and that didn't work so well.
Mhm. Well, kudos to Spiderbite for recognizing that it's not serving her. It
Nick had
seems to,
his,
I'm sorry,
sorry.
it seems to be serving him in that sense. But this person, Spiderbite, is recognizing it. And that's the key to that. And then understanding your self-worth and not playing into that. I'm sorry, Nick, go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
I got a perspective that could turn it into a physical, symbolic way of showing what to do in that situation. So at
Mhm.
the end of the day, we all know that currency is a physical embodiment of our invention that is time.
Mhm.
And we use time as a way to measure energy.
Mhm.
It's the best way we figured out how to comprehend something that we can't really comprehend at a higher level. So what a lot of people don't realize, because they don't teach this in standard school, they teach us in finance literacy, is that money also represents an IOU. So I mean, but what is really an IOU? An IOU is a symbolic term for trust.
Right.
So some of
Right.
the richest people, they're rich because they have a lot of trust. You know, they say, give me this, and in exchange you get this, and they deliver every single time. And sometimes not just deliver, but more than deliver. And that's how they gain their wealth. So it's not just about it being an energy thing, it's a trust thing. So if you can't trust who you're going into business with, guarantee you're going to lose money. So it's common sense to not do business with them.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
And trust is earned, in my opinion. You
Yeah.
really have to, first of all, you have to learn to trust yourself first and foremost, be honest with you and your feelings. Then once you've got that under your belt, then you can recognize when someone is not being genuine or honest with you. And then you can make that, you can flip that and make a decision whether
Yeah.
you want to continue that relationship or if you want to put up that boundary or barrier and just kind of halt it, stop it as much as you can, or cut it off completely.
Yep.
Go ahead, Teresa.
What I might do, and now see, this happened to me, Spiderbite, for over a 5 or 6 year period. And it was repetitive. It kept happening.
Mm-hmm.
And they were different people, men versus women, whatever. And they were very different personality types. But sometimes when we do service work for others and we put ourselves in service, we can't always predetermine, the energy, because
Mhm.
they can come across being very loving and very kind and very needy and very vulnerable and please help me. And then you do the help and then boom, they backstab you. It's just one of those behaviors
Mhm.
that they're apparently here to experience. What is it like to be a backstabbing person? What is it like to bite the
Mhm.
hand that feeds me? And so, but if it happens more than once and it keeps happening over and over and over, I had to question myself. Maybe I'm being too vulnerable. Maybe I'm giving too much.
Mhm.
Maybe there's something. It does cause
You
you
start
to
asking yourself that question, what am I doing to create, what's my
right,
part in this situation? How am I contributing to it? Yeah, good
right.
point.
And I found out that I was too open and too. If they didn't ask me, I was volunteering it.
Mhm.
So that was a hint right there. The next time someone comes along, I think they might need it. I'm not going to offer it unless they ask. And then I might go through a rapport for a while before I make the decision. Not be so quick. I'm a
Mhm.
very open person and I say too much sometimes.
Mhm.
So I know that I leave myself open.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying I should be,
Yeah.
closed off,
Mhm.
but temperance.
But consciously aware of your actions and how you're contributing.
Right.
That's exactly it. And I
Right.
like Nick's point where he tests um the honesty of someone. He'll put something out there to see if it sticks.
Yeah,
And then
that's
he
pretty good.
knows where it's coming from. And I love that because I do that myself. If someone
Mm,
says, don't say anything, well, first of all, if I say something, I'm going to betray the trust. If I don't say something, then I'm proving to you that I can be trusted. Oh, you didn't tell anybody anything. And it comes around. It always comes around, in my opinion. It's been my experience. That's how it happens. Do you agree, Grandpa Brian?
Yes. One thing that was going through my mind, wonder if this was one of them little soul contracts that you have with this person
Mm-hmm.
for them to betray you and you experience that.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the case, then you need to recognize that contract has been fulfilled. I do not need to learn that lesson anymore because I learned what I needed to learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it may not reoccur again for you. Recognizing that this could have been a pattern or a contract I have with them. And now I'm recognizing that it did happen. I learned my lesson from it. So it need not happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
So go ahead, Teresa.
Oh no,
Go
no, no.
ahead.
You go ahead.
Well, I was going to kind of shift this a little bit, but if you have a comment to that, go ahead and comment.
Well, no, I think what he says is spot on. But Morgan Snow, she was saying, Teresa, that's what's been happening to me over and over till I stepped back.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the comment, Morgan, because I know I'm not alone. But it comes down to opening yourself up so much that you're just completely there's a thing in modern spirituality where people will talk about unconditional love, and some people have a really interesting definition of unconditional love.
Mm-hmm. Good
And
point.
it's not a doormat.
Mm-hmm.
It's not laying yourself open like a fish fillet and saying, take me. It's and that's how people do. They think that they're not spiritual if they're not always loving, giving, 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 giving. Well, you have to start exercising your higher thoughts and your intuition like Nick does, maybe through
Mm-hmm.
some
Finding balance.
finding balance and bringing it
Mm-hmm.
in until you get the mix of your engine well oiled and ready to roll your way, in a way that you feel good about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about servicing others, but it's what makes you feel good in the way in which you're doing it, and not leaving yourself open to be used that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Friendly reminder, it is not egotistical to acknowledge that you are also part of the collective.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all on the
Amen.
same team. We're just wearing different colors.
Right on.
You matter just as everyone else. So the same
Yeah.
courtesies you should give to others, you got to remember to give to yourself also.
Mm-hmm. So there is a dynamic to meeting the same person in different bodies. And I think the one thing that really pops up about that situation and there's people out there that are watching that may be in a relationship where they're dealing with each other and they're constantly at each other and they're fighting each other. They're constantly finding the need to be right or wrong. And they're just always in conflict with each other. And I know that's part of their agreement. And sometimes when you're spiritually awake, you want to help them, but you also know that you can't help them. They have to help themselves first.
Yeah.
You're not responsible for their happiness. They are responsible for their experience. And maybe that is what they need to be going through. So it's not right or wrong. You're not elevated or better than somebody else. You just recognize the patterns. And that's really what I'm trying to say here is when you're in those relationships, notice the patterns and then see if you can shift those patterns and move those around a little bit instead of just constantly playing the game. Now, if that's what you want to do and that's what you want to spend your time doing, enjoy yourself. Have a great time. You know,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
don't even worry about anybody else. Just keep doing what you're doing. And eventually you'll come to the realization that, you know, it doesn't have to be this way, that things can change. You can change, but you have to want to. And that's where the shadow work comes in. It really takes a lot of energy to go through all that and to do the self stuff, the self-reflection, looking at yourself and, you know, dealing with your own demons and things that you're doing.
Yeah.
And people are not ready to do the work.
No.
So realize when you're in a situation or in those types of relationships, it makes it very difficult for you to, you know, move out of it or make the adjustment. And then you're constantly being barraged with the negative energy. That's just, that's a lot on your plate. That's what I got to say.
It sure
That's
is.
a lot on your plate, and it's self-chosen. Go ahead, Teresa.
There's a third aspect of this too that I just wanted to mention. My experience of you, Laurie, is different, is similar to, yet different from Nick's experience of you, which is similar, yet different than Brian's experience of you. So there are people out there who will come to you like this one I told you about in the community who people like that will, and if you've had enough blows or you've had enough bad experiences with a certain archetype and somebody starts pointing that out to you and you're getting everybody else's perspective on this person, you just have to shut it all down. Because what it comes down to, that doesn't really matter what Nick says or Brian says or anybody else says about that person. It's my experience of that person that I have to monitor.
Yeah.
That I have to observe. That I have to recognize the attributes that turn me on or turn me off or make me feel good or make me not feel good.
How you're going to respond to it.
How I'm going to respond to it. And while I'm realizing that person is not these other 7 people I knew back when. Yeah, don't put them all in the same classification and think that those patterns are going to be exactly how they operated. Right.
Because really that's how the human experience is. It's all about pattern recognition.
Right.
So if you're doing that, then you're not giving that new person or this person you're dealing with the opportunity to be different from the others, or maybe they are. It depends on the situation.
Yeah, but it's up to you to figure that out. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
Jasmine
ahead.
told me that she basically pretty made it short and sweet. She was like, just because I'm friends with A or you're friends with B doesn't mean they'll like me or you.
Yeah.
So like, and I thought about it, I was like, dang, you're right. So that means we're a package deal.
Yeah.
If they want to be friends with one of us, they got to be friends with both of us. And if they can't do that, then they need to go. So,
well, you know, in the healthiest of relationships, Nick, And I'll tell you this from my experiences, because I'm past the big 6-0 now. I found that to be a little limiting, because while you're a couple and you're a package deal all the way, you also have your individuality too.
That's true.
And so some of the healthiest relationships that I'm aware of, and I have not had that many myself, unfortunately, that have been successful. That's just, I hadn't.
Every relationship
I'm a
is successful.
I'm a different person. Yes, it's a different
It
perspective
really,
now.
yep.
But having the ability to have your friends and you do your thing from time to time, and the other person has their friends and they do things from time to time, and they come to realize that their relationship evolves and grows in such trust that they really appreciate the time away from each other to do their thing with the friends. These friends don't accept you. Okay, fine. They don't have to. It's like when two people get married. Hey, I'm not marrying your family. I'm marrying you.
I get what you're saying.
As a partner, I'm going to support you with your family, but I'm not marrying your family. They don't have to accept me the way you accept me.
That's not. I get what you're saying. Let me try to reiterate, because
there you go. Go ahead, Nick. I know where you're going. Go for it.
Because like on Monday, I hanged out with my friend Austin. It was just me and him. We went to the gun range and ate at Jaggers. So like, that was, Jasmine wasn't there. It was just me and him. So like we do that stuff. So what am I trying to say? Not liking someone or being indifferent with them is one thing, but having a friend that is friends with you, but it's actually trying to sabotage your partner.
Yes, that happens. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's completely different.
Yeah, you have to be aware of that. So if they start trying to sabotage your partner in some way or hurt them,
I'll flatten them.
Yeah, you got to cut them out. Exactly.
You screw with my partner that way, and try to turn me against or flip me.
Yeah.
Or use stories to make up shit, and
right, yeah.
I'll just, there goes the spirituality out the window.
Yeah. People that always put you in a it's me or them scenario.
Yeah. Now I'll still send the love bond, but I'm also ready to go.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'll just, you know what? Rather than have conflict, that's a warning sign right there. You're not the kind of archetype friend that I want in my relationship.
Exactly.
Bye.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit you on the butt on the way out. I would just like give them the boot. I wouldn't have anything else to do with them.
Yeah.
No, because that's a sign. That's a sign that person's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
There's a reason the old-fashioned wedding vows, I guess they're not old-fashioned. They're probably still here. And that is, let no man put asunder. Let no one separate these two from the bond.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason for that. Because when we join together as partners in any way, shape, or form, maybe not just a romantic relationship, but when we form a partnership with somebody over something, that's sacred. That's a sacred relationship. Even if it's a business partnership, it's still a sacred thing between these two people. And anyone who tries to sabotage something like that, who's trying to create division, is not bringing you closer to the spirit of love. They're trying to separate because they themselves don't know love.
Yep.
True. Very true.
Or
in my opinion.
Or they're obsessive with one of the people and they're like, you can't have them. They're all mine.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to drive a wedge between you so that I can make a play for that person.
Yeah, which is very like energy vampire, like in my opinion. And then you also got people that they're not on your team. They're just pretending to be on your team. So they join in disrupting your team. So you guys crumble.
And how do you deal with that, Nick?
That was a past life issue. So one of my wives at the time ended up being a foreign spy, and that caused a lot of problems in Egypt. So, like it caused a lot of divides. Like people who like worshipped my side felt a type of way, and then people who worshipped Jasmine's side felt a type of way, and then you still had like political sides about it. It was a mess. It was a mess. It's one of the reasons why Egypt fell from power and isn't a ruling power anymore. Let's put it that way.
You know what? That's a really good point, because a lot
Yeah.
of us come into these relationships where we've had past lives with each other before, and
Yeah.
we're dealing with things from past lives in this lifetime to kind of reconcile, or to relearn in a different way, or to take different, be in different situations, or take on different roles for each other to kind of work that out from those past lives.
Yeah.
So that does come into it. So if you're connected to somebody and you're really coming into this, a lot of angst and anxiety, a lot of times you're dealing with past life issues that you're not even aware of.
Yep.
And you'd have to, be able to connect and do all that to figure out the past life thing, because it really is a huge part of the lifetime you're living now. So if you want to know more about your relationship and the things that are going on, dive into those past life things. You can go through hypnosis. You can do it on your own, where you can connect to your guides. If you've done the work and you're able to communicate with spirit, you can do that as well. And then pull yourself into that situation and really discover why this person is doing what they're doing. And then you have a much greater understanding as to what you're dealing with in that current lifetime.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I'm doing in this lifetime. I'm self-reflecting on the past stuff, because I don't want it.
It's like, you clean up. It's about cleanup and prioritizing and finding a way to get through it and understand it. And a lot of times when you understand why you're doing it and why this person is doing these things to you and why this is happening, 90% of the time, it really is part of that agreement, past agreements and things that you just didn't work through at the time. And now you have another opportunity to work it from a different angle or a different perspective, which is really cool.
But that's the paradigm shift I was talking about in the beginning of the program, where that used to be the only explanation for this was it has to be because it's bad karma that you built up in a previous life and you didn't learn your lessons. And so you're having to repeat, rinse, and cycle, repeat, rinse, and cycle. That's one way to look at it. And it often is true. However, sometimes it's just not that it was karma or that you didn't learn your lesson or that your oversoul and you decided to come in under another agreement in this lifetime to re-experience it, to learn your lesson. That might be part of it. But part of it is more about not punishing yourself or having to learn a lesson or having to clean up bad karma.
Learn to do it a different way.
A different way is what that's where that paradigm shift came in, is seeing, hey, I like certain things about this personality. I like certain things that happened in that life. I would like to re-experience some of that, but without all this other garbage. And so now how can I make this work for me in my now?
What I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes it's not throwing the whole blueprint away. It's finding the pieces that you liked and worked and refining
and create something new.
I see what
with
you're saying.
that person, and you might find out it's a dynamic opportunity to do something really spectacular that you never. Laurie and I know some souls that went through some times in ancient Greece, and then they had version 2.0 of themselves later on in Rome. And they were able to do things together in Rome that they never got done or accomplished in Greece. They were well on their way in Greece doing these wonderful things, but they got cut short. And there was karma, and there were all kinds of problems with different people. But as soon as they came back into an incarnation in another lifetime, they were able to accomplish such great things. They just completely flipped their world. And so in the Roman society, they were able to do far more than they could ever do in the Greek society. And even that one had its relationship issues. But so they created something completely new, a new reality where they could make a significant difference in people's lives and bring value and service to others in ways they couldn't do before. But if they had ignored each other and said, "Ooh, oh, I don't want that archetype," or "I didn't like how that ended," or I didn't like how that piece of that relationship," then they would block themselves
Yeah.
from what they could accomplish moving forward.
Yeah.
Just
And
keep that in mind.
that's actually something I'm working on right now, because in those past lives, I oftentimes got a leading position of like high authority of some type, and people closest to me would get jealous, and then it would turn into backstabbing or manipulation or envy, or and maybe not directly attacking me, but them just making mistakes or flopping really hard and causing a disaster of some magnitude, because you know they're not on their A game. They're more focused about like, why does he have what I don't have, instead of like focusing on what they were born to do, what their role was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem I keep running into in this lifetime. So like I've lost a lot of people because of this, and I pretty much like put myself on the afterburner, saying, look, I'm not going to lead people that don't want to be led.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like,
Yep.
yeah, they're why are they always following me around but crying at the same time? They
Yeah.
gotta make up their mind. I'd rather
Everybody's wired differently.
yeah, I'd rather be a commoner, just chilling with Jasmine instead of dealing with that headache. Like, I understand to accomplish great things, you need to be with a team of a lot of people, but nothing's going to work if when everyone decides that, yeah, let's make something great, but their perspective on what great is completely different from each individual. It doesn't work that way. That's what I'm starting to learn. So
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I love this stuff so much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're an hour into the show, and so I thought it would be good. If you don't know who Dalibor was, and I like to say is, because he's still around us and still part of our team. Teresa, if you're not familiar with Teresa, she is a trance channel, and she can channel his energy. And we've done this before. And this is real, you guys. It's quite amazing. And Teresa and I have experienced a lot of things with spirit since she's been here that has just been fascinating and mind-bending and difficult for the everyday people to understand what's going on. We've helped souls cross over. We've helped lost souls who didn't realize they had passed, and we're able to move them into the light and get them where they need to be. So tonight, Teresa's going to channel Dalibor, and he was on the show with us for many years. And he would like an opportunity to weigh in on this topic, why we keep meeting the same person in different bodies. And I would ask to be respectful that when she channels him, literally, this is his energy. And it is a combination of her energy and his energy together. But this is a real thing. So just give her the respect she's due for this, because she's really puts herself out there. And the more she does this, and I've encouraged her to do it, because it really is an amazing process, and she's quite gifted in this as well. So we'll let you. Do you want to just let people know how you channel, and it doesn't take you long to get into that state.
Yeah.
But you're going to pull Dalibor in and maybe just talk about your process there a little bit.
Well, typically, there's two different ways spirits come to me. Sometimes they're through the thoughts of my fully awake consciousness, where I'm fully present while they're communicating. And there are other times when I just step back and let them come through, so we can create that third.
Yeah. And I would
vehicle.
suggest you do that tonight. Let Dalibor come in as much as possible.
Yeah. Now, when I do that, I don't have any. I'm not going to necessarily know what he's saying completely.
Right. You'll
But-
rewatch.
But you'll have to
Yeah.
function and help bring me back.
Of
right?
course. I always do.
But Dalibor's really cool. He's
He's a cool dude.
he popped in out of nowhere today and wanted to jump in on this particular topic because he has
Good.
something to say about it.
Good.
And
Well,
I was
I'm
trying to
ex-
jot down what he was trying to communicate with me, and I'm like, it was a little over my head in a way.
I'm excited to give him a voice.
Okay.
Between
All
you and I, I'm real excited to hear what he has to say. So, all
Great.
right. You're ready.
Okay. Well, I just need a moment to
Yep.
focus my energies. And
You got
thanks,
it.
everyone, and hope you get something from it because he's a great guy.
Yeah,
Still
he
is. Even in the
Yep. I love Dalibor. We all do.
Mm. Laurie,
Dalibor, brother, it's good to have you with us.
good to
How
see
are
you.
you?
Wonderful. I'm doing good. I'm actually doing really good.
And
I'm in
Cookie
my
Shack
element.
is with you?
Oh, of course.
Good.
There's 100,000 cookie shacks everywhere you look.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can create that anytime I want.
Awesome. How's the afterlife?
It's actually more challenging than I thought it was going to be, but a lot of fun too. I have access to all the tools I need for all the alchemy I want, and I've got answers upon answers. And the thing is that nothing's necessarily right, and yet nothing's necessarily wrong either. So I really do miss some of the aspects of the material world, but I have the memories of that. But I'm enjoying myself a great deal. Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
And how have you all been?
Fantastic.
Good.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Hi,
Well.
Brian.
Hey, Dalibor, I miss you, buddy.
Miss you too. I miss everybody. I miss Robert getting on his show and Lucky and everybody. You know, I just had a wonderful experience in that particular lifetime, and I learned a lot.
Good.
Lot more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hearing Teresa's meditations, and because I was dropping in to see how she's making out on her new home, and she was sitting on the back porch, and I just said, "Hey, I want in on this." I invited myself on the show tonight.
I love that. I love that. So, what do you got to say about this topic tonight? Why we keep meeting the same person in different bodies? What say you, Dalibor?
Well, there's laws of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big part of it. I mean, I had 3 girlfriends that could have been, at one point in my life that could have been cookie cutter. Like you popped them right out of a muffin pan. But no. There is hey, I'm going to be the science guy,
Okay.
being the alchemist that I am. But what I wanted to impress on her today was, you know how a jellyfish moves through water, or a sea nettle moves through the ocean? It's an oscillating frequency, right?
Mm-hmm.
They push in and they push out, and they eventually will travel in a school together, and they'll move at the same frequency, the same oscillation, and then eventually they'll spin off in a direction of their own. And when 2 waves come together, and I don't want this to be anybody to think this is over their head, but when 2 waves come together and clash, they peak and they merge. And for a brief moment, the molecules within those waves interact and connect like glue. They stick together like glue. And they will eventually take all they need from that connection and then pass through one another. The same thing happens with, with the jellyfish, and the sea nettles are moving like water waves, and water works that way too. So when 2 sound waves that are slightly different come into contact, they start beating at the same beat, the same rhythm. very brief period of time. And so I look at this whole thing about meeting the same people over and over through lifetime after lifetime, the same way I was picking up on Teresa's perspective. It's not necessarily bad karma all the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mhm.
natural. It's nature. It's our nature as spirits because of, cell division and molecular bonding, and that vibration and that frequency stays with us. We remember it. And so when we encounter it, we're attracted to it for a while again. And we go through that intermeshing, and then we polarize with one another. Those energies and frequencies, even if it's only for a brief period of time. So it's a natural occurrence. So I see it not as, why do we, keep messing around with the same people and screwing up our lives? I don't see it that way
Okay.
from here now. Because I know
Your
I know a
perspective has
different
changed.
completely.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
like,
sure.
oh, wow. You have those old commercials. I could have had a V8.
Yes,
I never did like the V8, but anyway, so allow yourself to pass through. It's an interference, but it's a necessary interference for our growth.
Mm-hmm.
We beat our own beat. We vibrate. We drum our own drums, right, Grandpa?
Mhm.
We beat to a different drum, but when we're together, that attraction, it's just natural.
Mm-hmm.
We beat at that same rhythm for a while, but allow yourself to pass through.
Ooh, that's an excellent way to put that. That's an
So,
excellent way to put that.
For what that means, and you can almost take the same, anything that generates a frequency or a wave, whether it be sound travels faster than a light wave.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that, you can the lower the frequency, the more you're getting into the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Until it reaches a crescendo or a climax, if you will, and then you pass
Mhm.
through.
Yeah.
And that's all life is your consciousness is in each time. Your consciousness is learning to expand
Mm-hmm.
and go beyond where you were before.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's pretty much what I had to say about it.
Well, what a pleasure. What an honor to have you on tonight. And I can definitely see your body language is
Mhm.
there. It's spot on. Your verbiage, what you're saying, what you're talking about. It's definitely you, Delabar. So thank you.
Well, I hope so.
Well, you have to understand we're in a different situation here.
Of course, Teresa
You
lets
know who
me.
you are.
Teresa lets me use her body, and
Yeah.
that's weird.
Your mannerism. Yeah, I bet that is.
But it's we all have. She's got this thing stuck in her ear and it's coming out, but we all have, all those parts to us.
Yeah.
All those energies to us, But
yes. Yeah.
But I give Robert my love, please.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Lucky and I know Teresa doesn't hear from Smoking and G very often, but G was great. I enjoyed my time with you all very much.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't forgotten any of you.
Mm-hmm.
None of you.
How
I'll
about
never
Trina?
forget you. Oh, well, of course. That goes without saying. I've known Trina a long, long time. And I'm still with Trina.
Yes.
She would tell you I talked to her.
Uh-huh. I'm sure you do.
Mhm.
I talked to
Yes, you
Trina.
do.
Yeah, I know you do.
But I backed away a little while. Teresa and I would get into when I was we would spend 2, 3, 4 hours on the phone together about these things. And but now it doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
We enjoyed the debating.
Yes.
We liked to debate.
Mm-hmm.
But she's got her thing. I've got mine now. It just different. It's a different relationship now.
Yeah. You know,
So-
Dalibor, what do you spend your time doing in the afterlife? Pretty much whatever you want, kind of a thing?
I'm actually working with Thoth quite a bit,
Oh,
and I'm working with the Megatron energy,
okay.
and I'm trying to find new and creative ways to scientifically explain to people in the Earth community at the younger ages these concepts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working with them to help the teachers articulate to the younger people
Mhm.
what's really going on. And what's interesting about that is that they're teaching the teachers, because a lot of them have already figured out what I was striving all my life, to learn and get over. In this dimension, I have a lot of information I didn't have access to before, but I was right about a lot of things.
Yeah. I'm sure you were.
Dead wrong about others,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Definitely.
But I've changed my perspective, of course, being over here.
Yes.
So it's refreshing and different. But I think it's important to get to the young people
Mm-hmm.
on the planet as they're helping the planet to go through its evolution and ascension,
Mm-hmm.
just as they're ascending. And
Yeah.
so it's important to get it, to hear what they have to say, hear what
Yeah.
the young people have to say.
Mm-hmm.
You'll learn so much more
Absolutely agree with
than
you.
just thinking you know all the answers all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's still fun to explore, and I haven't stopped.
Good.
I'm still
That's
me.
good.
I'm still that energy
100%.
frequency of my soul, the Dalibor portion of the Dalibor archetype.
Uh-huh.
I still like me. That
Yeah.
archetype,
Well, we
that
like
version,
you too,
that
Dalibor.
version of me.
Yeah.
But I'm actually more fully integrated, and I have a lot of feminine energy now.
Fascinating.
And I always did. I know
Mhm.
that, but
Mhm.
it was in a way that didn't serve me, because I didn't let it serve me to the extent
Mhm.
that I could have.
I found it to be very balanced, Dalibor. I thought you were
Mhm.
very
Good.
balanced.
Good. I
Yeah.
thought so.
Yeah.
I definitely thought
I
that
recognized it, that energy, but I also recognized that you
Uh-huh.
were quite balanced between the
Yeah.
two. Yeah,
Yeah.
the masculine and the feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for this opportunity to join in and
Sure.
put my my knowledge and wisdom out there from how I see it. But it is a
Yeah.
good way of it's part of nature. It's part of how the material world works. That's
Mhm.
why there's such a great emphasis in ancient teachings about water and the importance of water,
Yes.
and how creation energy is done through the water and through the water of life. And it's those waves and frequencies. So that's why you keep attracting
Yes.
yourself to the same people in different bodies, but they're really very much alike.
Mhm. Yes.
Just don't be
Oh,
afraid of
wonderful.
it. You know?
Yeah, won't be. No.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Dalibor,
so much.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
yellow rubber ducky.
You know, it's so Scotty boy here. I'm sure he is.
Yes, Scotty Boy's here. Yes.
Yep, Scotty boy and Doug. And does Doug ever? Doug is the one that guessed my rubber duck.
Yeah.
Yes.
That just totally blew my mind when that happened. But
Mhm.
now I understand. There are random acts, just as there's random acts of kindness. There's random acts of psychic ability,
Mhm.
and Doug actually
yeah.
has more than he thought he did. you
Yeah,
know?
obviously.
Yeah.
But that just was like, I couldn't believe that. That just blew my mind. But
Yeah, it was
it's
mind-blowing.
Sophia who won't let that one go.
Yeah.
And I miss my sister, Sophia.
Yeah.
I loved her.
She's
to death.
doing
And
well too. Yeah, she's You obviously.
Yes, I look in on
she's up.
her.
Yeah, good.
Just as I communicate with Trina, I have my ways of communicating with Sophia too.
Good. And I've chatted with you as well. So.
Oh,
thank you.
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I welcome anybody at any time. Just call my name.
Yeah. And you'll be there.
Be there. Just quack
Yeah.
it up. What can
I love
squeaky
that.
duck or something, I'll show up. I'll
Yep.
show up.
Awesome.
And I'm there more than you realize. I still connect to the programs.
Mhm.
And I was talking with Teresa today. We really like what Lucky's doing too.
Oh, good.
And
That's
so
good.
everybody's just getting better and better and better
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
getting the information out there, and that's what we hope in the other realms. This is the time for people to grasp these concepts,
Mhm.
not just playing. I did a lot of playing. What
Mhm.
if? What if? What if?
Yeah.
Or a speculation.
Mhm.
A lot of speculation. But let's do what we can to get to the truth.
Yeah. That's what I'm interested in, the
I
truth.
mean,
You
everybody's
bet.
going to have their own truth, of course.
True.
But as a unified body
Mhm.
of beings who are trying to help come out of this phase of evolution before the next Kayuga or whatever is going to happen, it's
Mhm.
important. It's important to be on the same page with some things,
Yeah.
even if it isn't just the basic concepts.
Right.
And people used to tease me, "You're on the woo-woo channel."
Don't poo-poo the woo-woo.
Like, I'm on other
poo-poo the
channels
woo-woo.
besides the woo-woo, and but you guys have it. It's about the love and sharing the wisdom and sharing the knowledge, and not being afraid to do
No
it.
fear here, obviously.
And you always made me feel welcome and comfortable and warm. All of you did.
You're
And
always a brother. You're always our brother.
really
No doubt.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well,
All right.
Dalibor, I need to bring Teresa back. That's about the extent. Thanks again for joining us. We love you so much. And
Definitely.
not
pleasure.
dead, so to speak, in the afterlife.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Dalibor.
Thank you, Nick. And I know they've dubbed you my namesake, and rightly so.
Yes.
We are both Toth lovers.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And Toth is in me as Toth is in you.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have different ways of expressing it, but very close. Your mind doesn't work that differently than the way my mind worked. And now we're both on, you're on your path, and I wish you the best, Nick. And thank you for filling in.
Yeah, we can be bookworms together one of these days.
Absolutely. No reason why we can't. I love you, all of you. Love you very much. Love you, Laurie.
Love you too, Dalibor. You betcha.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Teresa? Teresa? Teresa?
Yes.
You're there. Come on
Say
back.
goodbye to Dalibor.
Okay.
He's lovely energy.
Mm-hmm. Boy, you had his mannerisms down.
When he
I could
comes in,
swear.
Yes,
He
within
had a
5
cigarette. Yeah. He had a
In-
cigarette.
in that
Yes.
right hand.
Yes.
He's smoking in the afterlife?
Well, no.
No, but it looked like you had a cigarette in your hand.
Remember, he always had a cigarette in his hand, and he had that cigarette holder, and he would just.
Oh,
hold it
yeah.
You totally had his mannerisms, his tone,
Yeah.
everything spot
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, the facial expressions were that was
Oh,
really
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
He comes in that strong, huh? That is stronger than some
yes.
others.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
you
you
guys-
can fill me in later, or I can watch it later. I'll have to watch
You'll
it.
watch it later. Definitely.
Yeah, because
you
he
always
tried to
do.
give me bits and pieces of his message this afternoon, but so I
Mhm.
have an idea
Yeah.
of what he was going to talk about, but I don't know exactly how he put it to you. So I would like
Yeah.
to listen to it. Yeah.
It's all good. And what an honor and a pleasure it was to have him. And to be able to do this is quite fascinating, but it's not woo woo. It's true. So that's what's going on here.
Good. Good.
Yeah. Anyway, so looking forward to next week. Watch for the trailer. You'll get a glimpse into the next topic.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're really excited about this series. So it's been really rewarding, and
Yeah.
we're learning a lot, and we hope that you as the viewer is learning a lot. So, and yeah, we do this because we want to help others. And if it helped you in any way, then we did what we came here to do. And that's what it's all about, helping each other and that unity community. So thanks for being a part of it. Thank you all in the live chat. Thanks for being there with us. We really appreciate you all. And we look forward to seeing you all next week.
That's great.
And I want to thank everybody on the panel. Thank you, Teresa, for having the guts to do that, and the strength and the ability.
Well,
Grandpa,
I just share the gift with everybody. And,
yeah. And you really have come into your gifts. It's quite a miraculous.
Thank you for
witness.
inviting it, Laurie, and encouraging it and supporting it. And,
absolutely. Brian, thank you for all you add to the show as well. And you've always been a part of it, and we appreciate you too. And you've got a show with Lucky tomorrow night, 5 o'clock.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Eastern? Okay, great. We'll see you there. Nick, thank you as well. And our love to Jasmine. She's always sorely missed. We don't get to see her, but we understand she's not feeling well, and it's totally understandable. So we'll send her some healing.
And be safe, warm, everyone.
Yes, stay warm as much as possible.
Go out there if you don't have to, and just trust the spirit's got you and the collective consciousness. Brian put out a request for good intents for everyone this morning or yesterday. I remember. Time flies now. But just be very careful. Half this country is under a tremendous strain with this weather situation.
Be safe. Yeah.
Maybe if we all think heat wave at the same time, it'll be 60 degrees tomorrow instead.
That's right. We can change it,
Yeah. And if you need a good channel to watch on YouTube, Max Velocity does an amazing job at the weather. That guy is so tapped in, and he knows what's going on. He predicted this weather weeks before it came through.
Yes, he did.
I was actually watching him live before we started this.
Perfect. Yeah, and he hangs in there. He does a phenomenal job. So if you want to know about your area, check out Max Velocity on the weather. It's absolutely amazing. The guy does a great job. All right, everybody.
I'm not in it anymore. I'm in the West.
Yeah,
having
you in the sunshine now. You in the sunshine states.
Yeah, but
you're a West Coast girl.
Maryland. It's gonna get slammed, and I'm right where I need to be. So. Love you all very much, and good to see you all.
And looking forward to seeing everybody next week. And be in love, be in joy, everybody. And thank you for watching. We really appreciate you. Peace and love.
Good night.